Alright guys, gonna be doing a VOD review of a 2720 SR and a gameplay. So first off the bat, you see her focusing down the Pharah that's flying in the air by herself. That's pretty good. Ana's pretty good at taking out Pharahs even after the nerf. Even if you don't kill her, it makes her back off, and in this situation, they were able to get the pick. So that's good. And right here you see her focusing on taking the shield down, doing a little bit of DPS. There's not that much to heal right now, so it's good that you're focusing on, or that they're focusing on the DPS. A hard thing to do that Ana's struggled to do is finding a good mixture between DPS and healing. Definitely want to keep in mind when to heal and when to DPS. Most of the time you want to you want to heal, not DPS. You want to heal. But there are some occasions where DPSing is the correct solution. Here she's sticking on her tanks, healing the tanks. That's what you want to be doing as Ana, because Ana is she has the highest healing per second in the game, so she can help keep the tanks alive. And there you see the Roadhog was able to live because of that. Now she's just topping off her team, which is good. You want to be able to, or you want your team to always be full HP. They're kind of just sweeping right here, so there's not really much to talk about. Right here, she's trying to help the Genji when he's pushing. A little bit hard to shoot moving Genjis, so that's kind of unfortunate. Just staying on the point right now. Waiting for her team to push up, waiting for the cart to move up so she's actually able to do stuff. Her team's getting picks right now, which is really important to do. That card's moving up with these picks, so now there's not really much to contest the ground because they're down a soldier right now. This team should be able to just wipe. Mercy goes down now as well. There should be no reason why this shouldn't be a successful push. They're keeping the Mercy alive so she can revive. That's extremely important to do. You make sure you want to keep the people with the important ults alive. You saw in the corner of the screen that there was a Genji low HP, but sticking on the tanks was the correct idea to do, because tanks are the front line. They're more important to heal as Ana. Now unfortunately for her team, they get Ryan ulted here, and then into a D.Va ult, which stops the push. Now that's fine, but the whole team didn't get wiped, so make sure, this is just a general tip, not an Ana tip. If your team dies like that, if they get like 3 picks with an ult, you want to just back up. You don't want to get staggered even more. And lucky enough for the D.Va and Widow, they were able to retreat successfully. So you see here that she has her ult now with Genji. That's an extremely powerful ult combo. And you always want to be looking for the combos with ults as Ana. Her ult is extremely good when comboed with offensive ultimates like Genji. And that was a questionable revive at most to just revive the Widow. But if that's what they need to keep the push going, then that's fine. Right now, Ana has pretty alright positioning. She has no Reinhardt on her team, so it's hard to stand behind the Rein shield to get actual cover. But she's standing behind the tank at the very least. Her team should actually be doing a little bit better job of protecting her. But for the most part, it's fine. Now she got soldier ulted from the side there, which is unfortunate, but it does bring a soldier ult down, so the ult economy, it should be in their favor now. I'm assuming on the other team they have like Mei and Mercy ult and maybe Zenyatta, but they just use D.Va ult, they just use soldier ult. They should have ult advantage here. And again with the Genji Nano Blade, they should be able to wipe. And here they get 2 picks on the Mercy and Soldier. They should be pushing in really hard right now. No need to use any extra ults if not necessary. Another pick on the Zenyatta. Now unfortunately the Mercy dies, but they still should be able to go strong. Just healing up tanks now, good. The other team gets revived, which is why I want to bring out the positioning right here. Let's move this one a little bit. Her positioning right here is extremely good, because here you're blocked off from this way so the enemy doesn't have free poke at you, and you're still in the sight line of your entire team right here. This is excellent positioning. And you should definitely be looking for situations like this while you're playing. There, she was focusing a little bit too much on the Widow when her Diva was right in front of her getting frozen. But she's able to heal her back up. It should be good. Now, they still haven't pushed out yet. And this is... she's holding on to her ultimate way too long with the Genji. She should have ulted sooner, and she could have had it another ult back by then. She's just holding on to the right moment, and that's not always correct. Like this would have been another way to, or another situation where ulting Genji would have been extremely helpful. Now 2 of her teammates got picked, 3 of her teammates got picked. The push is kind of dead, and here you see she ults again, or she ults the Genji now after everyone's already dead. And that's really not a good time when to use your ult. You want to, as Ana, you want to start off fights with ults. You don't want to use it reactionary. If you use it reactionary, there's a possibility that it could get countered, or it could just do nothing. You see there, the Genji goes in 1v6 and dies with his nano ult. So that's 2 ults down now, and they have the worst ult economy. Now her team's just getting picked off left and right. It's very, like, it could have been avoided just by being more proactive with her ult usage. And here you just kind of have to, stay a little bit more back. She's kind of doing it, but if the tanks were a little bit more aggressive on the enemy team, then she would have gotten punished pretty hard by it. And then she got flanked and died, which, I mean, not really much you can do about it there. They had to get onto the point, they didn't have time to wait and group up. So this is all just came from the fact that she waited too long on her ult. Her and Genji both waited way too long on their ults, and that cost them the game, or the round at least. Let's fast forward here a little bit. So up top is pretty good, or it's a pretty standard place to hold, and it's there for a reason. You get pretty free poke down at the enemy team, but her team does not have a Reinhardt, so holding up here is kind of like a waste of time. They're going to be taking as much poke as they receive, so it's kind of like a wash, so there's not really a point in risking it, because if one of them gets picked off, it's way worse for them than for the other team. See, Zenyatta gets picked off. Hanzo's low. Looks like Roadhog is about to die. Positioning is way too overzealous on his team. So he sees right here that they have a Bastion. Most important thing to do when they have a Bastion as Ana is to get a sleep dart on him. Now, it's not always easy to do that. They're going to have Reinhardt and whatnot protecting him, but that's also is what you should be saving your sleep dart for as Bastion, or when they have a Bastion on the other team. Here she kind of just walks into the other team, which I would not recommend doing. You always want to be, like I previously said, between their team and your team, so you have a nice safe ground to get maximum healing out. Another thing that I haven't seen this person doing is using their nades offensively that much. They've only done it a couple times, and offensive nades are extremely important in death ball compositions like the one that the enemy team is running, because it prevents literally all healing. So that's an almost free initiation for your team, and it makes it so that it's almost a free fight if you get a really good nade off of like 2 or 3 people. Right here, her team is being a little bit overzealous with her positioning as well, and she has to accommodate putting herself in danger to help her actually help her team. And now that Zenyatta's forced to pop an ult, her team's still pretty far back. At this point, I would just ult she's holding her ult again, which is something you really don't want to do. You're gonna get your ult back really fast, especially if you have like a D.Va and Roadhog on your team. You're gonna be getting the ult back extremely fast. You can afford to use that ult on initiations like this. Even at this point, probably not. Like, they just gotta pick, but it would have been like an alright ult on D.Va. Like, it's more than nothing. I hear that Anna on the other team staggers herself. Or if they can kill her. So I guess she got out of that. Alright, maybe not, but anyways. And now she gets picked off again without using her ult. That would have been another opportunity for her to use her ult, whether it just be on the D.Va or like almost anyone really, like one of the tanks. Because like now she could have gotten her ult back like twice, like I've said. Like, it's just unfortunate timing. And now the Zarya's kind of up by herself, and if you want to help her, that's fine, but don't get yourself into situations like this where now you put yourself in danger as well. And the D.Va died, and the Zarya died, so now you're just further staggering yourself. But she was able to get back. Now, normally on second point Dorado, I like to get the high ground. It's especially good if you have a D.Va or something up there with you to block the Pharah rockets and whatnot. But like this positioning right here is pretty bad. And if the other team was a little bit better and a little bit smarter on who they were focusing, they would easily be able to take her out. So now she can't really heal her team. They're all behind the wall, and she's in the middle of like the entire enemy team. Very bad situation to be in as Anna. And again, she's holding on to her ult. It looks like this game is about to finish up. And she has not used her ult once. I think she might have used it once on attack, but 0 times. So it is not the smartest thing to do as Anna. You definitely want to be popping that ult more often. Like even now, popping it on the Zarya to just get her a little bit tankier so you can stall a little bit longer. It would have been more optimal than not using it at all. So things to take away from this game were: use grenades more offensively. Position yourself between the enemy team or between your team and the enemy team. Make sure there's always some sort of cover between them or between you and the enemy team, so you have free heals on your team. And use your ult more liberally, especially if you're holding on to it for whole rounds without ever popping it once. You don't need to save it for huge plays. Even if you do it to get 1 or 2 kills, it's worth it because it wins the initiation. So hopefully this helped you guys, and I'll see you later.